Hey y'all, I'm Allison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids.
Hunters, this is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
My favorite bands from Australia.
My two favourite podcasters,
Braggy and Curly.
Braggy and Curly.
On the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered Podcast.
Hey there, everyone, and welcome to episode 134 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered Podcast. We're talking all things Sydney tonight, all things Sydney, which includes...
It's a faceless concrete jungle that waits to turn its head. I'd like to wish you good luck as along whose road you went. Don't go to Sydney, baby, if you know what's good for you. I have my fears, it will end in tears if you do. Don't go to Sydney, it's a city without a heart. That rolls through with those guilty of making false starts.
All right. So, Rossi, I did have to start with that, you know, the Zimmer back in the 80s with Don't Go to Sydney when the rivalry between Melbourne and Sydney was real.
Oh,
Do you remember
indeed.
that song, Rossi?
Well, I don't actually, because I think, as I've said to you before, what I love about Brisbane is that it's number 3 and it knows it.
I'm glad I'm out of this.
Melbourne's number 2, but it does think it's number 1.
Yeah.
But then again, like
Just
we don't
some
worry
of those
about
lyrics, but it's a faceless concrete jungle. It's a city without a heart.
I know.
I just
know.
had to share it. I just had to
It's-
share it.
Like I've mentioned before, it's a David Williamson story of Emerald City that everyone who comes here and doesn't work out, they blame us for it. You know?
Please welcome to the show. We've got our co-hosts, Braggy in Adelaide. We've got Rossi in Sydney. And sitting next to Rossi is one of the reasons why Sydney's starting to bubble back up as the music capital of Australia. We've got Angus from Pockewatch. So welcome, everyone. How are we all?
Good, mate. Good fellas. Really good.
Excellent, Curly.
Yeah. So, Braggy, I'm going to start with you, mate. The West Indies resurgence in cricket, is it short-term real or are we seeing the decline of the mighty Australian team?
We're not seeing the decline of the mighty Australian team, that's for sure. The West Indies resurgence depends on if the ICC give them some money because they don't get to play many tests. And when they do, they're usually, places where there's no taking. So, yeah, they need to play more tests against Australia. They need to play 3 tests at least. They used to play 5. So, you go, Rossi. What are you going to say?
Look, I saw them play 5 in 75, 76 when they came out here and they had that fantastic West Indian side. It was incredible. But how good was the bowling performance from young Joseph?
Awesome. I love that.
I love that. Yeah, like as someone who loves cricket,
yeah,
I want cricket to look good. I want cricket to be good. I want to see competitive games. I love a test match, you know?
Yeah.
And he was sensational.
I thought he was fantastic too.
I was
almost cheering for them, you know?
Yeah, unplayable.
He's been playing for 2 years.
Yeah, he came from the backwoods, like, somewhere, and only played park cricket for a while. And then they found him. And I mean, he's just so happy to play. Like that just reminded me of the old West Indian team. And I don't know if you saw the coverage, but a couple of the old guys, Carl Hooper and Brian Lara, they were in tears because it's been so long for them that they won.
I could not believe that young man's humility. I thought, he was just, he was almost shocked that he'd done so well.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love
there was a great photo on the interwebs the next day of Pat having a beer with one of the guys.
Yeah.
With him, I think, in the thing. And Pat saying, don't actually tell anyone, but I thought that was really good.
Australian guys,
I really enjoyed watching him bowl, but don't.
Australian guys have got him on the beers trying to drag him down to their level.
Yeah, that's the old way. That's the old school.
He was almost unplayable on a couple of those balls. The amount of clean bowls were just unbelievable, Braggy.
Yep.
And
fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Smith almost got us through, but when we're relying on Joshy Hazelwood to be his partner, I think we're in trouble. So
the ball that got Hazelwood was a ripper, wasn't it?
Oh, it was so good. He had no idea where it went.
That's right.
So
he's never got the idea, Hazelwood.
The other piece of news we need to talk about, Rossi, you've got a bad back. It's played up on you.
Yeah.
News of lug and amps.
Injured myself on the weekend. I'll put it down to carrying Angus.
No.
It was actually Pilates.
It was Pilates.
Yeah. Definitely Pilates.
It was an exercise injury, would you believe?
Yeah.
But people find it hard to believe that I go to Pilates, but I've been dragged there kicking and screaming, and I'll tell you, it's made a difference to my life.
A negative one.
Until now. Until now.
It wasn't their fault. It was my fault. I was using what they call a reformer machine.
Right. So marathon runner injury, Pilates injury, beer and good times. Look, I'm okay.
So Rossi, we hope you're not out of action for too long anyway, mate.
Yeah.
So the other interesting thing that's happened just in the last day or so is the Universal Music Group has pulled their song catalogue from TikTok.
Now, why have they done that, Curly? What's the go?
Just the contract was due.
Right.
Obviously, they signed a contract. It was due. And TikTok were providing, in the words of Universal, a particularly bad deal for their artists in terms of song royalties. And so Universal, which includes Taylor Swift, I believe, is now pulled their song catalogue from TikTok.
Oh, she's gonna have to go back to white bread.
Oh, I'm amazed they haven't pulled it from Spotify.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see who has the power and how long these sorts of disagreements or disputes happen, because we've been talking about the lack of money in streaming now for quite some period of time. So
TikTok's made a lot of money.
Yes.
Off the back of creators providing their work for free. So there's got to be some money coming back the other way, because it's the same with Spotify. There is no money in it for anyone. Although, I did log into the Spotify account for a young rock band that shall remain nameless, and there's actually money in there for them, which surprised me.
TikTok is free. TikTok is free, so that's they don't make money from that, I guess. But you're right, and there's ads on there. So,
it is.
And TikTok has a creator fund for people that do videos and whatnot, and people can earn money through TikTok.
Influencers.
It just seems that, influencers and whatnot. And
so
that's all driven by users and views. So
I think the view is that if you're getting something for free, you're the product. Isn't that the case?
Exactly the case. You are the product. So whether it's your privacy, your data, your habits online, that's all
right.
being sold. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's move on to
isn't that cheery? Isn't that cheery?
Let's move on to something a bit more positive. Red carpet at Golden Guitars was interesting. Chloe Styler was on the red carpet and interviewed on the red carpet. Laura Frank was interviewed on the red carpet. And Sammy Palinkas, she's professional. She was the last one of our little cohort of people going through. So well done to the three ladies.
Did they all mention us, Curly?
I think that should be a condition of coming on the show in the future.
I know.
A big shout out to the boys at Unfiltered and Undiscovered.
One of the finalists in the Song of the Year is our really good mate Mel Dyer as well.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Melanie Dyer.
Did she win Female Artist of the Year? I think
she was a nominee.
She was a nominee. It was Mel. I'm not sure, but she's a sweetheart. She's a
We'll have
Incredibly.
Big Stu on in the coming weeks to talk about the awards and who are the big shakers and movers. Laura Frank didn't win her 2 People's Choice Awards that she was up, but fantastic to be nominated, and well done to Laura, of course. Now, the other thing I just want to mention is that usually we are pretty ordinary on social media, so you may have noticed on Monday this week there was a Did You Know thing come out on the Unfiltered Undiscovered platform. And then on Wednesday, there was This Week in Music. So
I saw that.
So if you like that, there may be something on a Tuesday as well, and there might be something on a Thursday. So just to start lifting the social media game.
I liked it. And This Week in Music was the Beatles' last gig on the rooftop.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
And
Buddy Holly died a couple of days from now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So hopefully we can keep current. So let's talk about Sydney. And of course, we got Angus from Pockewatch. So, Braggy, did you want to kick this off? You said you had a really big Sydney scene question.
Well, it's part of the quiz. Do you want me to?
Oh, no.
I can do the first part of the quiz with the Sydney scene question. It would probably generate some talk, I would think.
Okay. Rossi, shall we do it?
You want to do that? It's 5 things. Well, now, Curly, you have to play in this as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so but the deal is that these 2 here, they get 1 point for a right answer. You get 3. Because you're from Brisbane. Okay?
That's fair.
So the question that I had, and we can just make this the first one of the thing. There's other questions, but we'll just do this one for now. Was I'm going to give you some addresses, and you need to tell me the venues that are either still there or not there.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
It'll be fun. You ready,
Okay.
Angus? I had this one especially because I thought you might be able to beat your dad, and this maybe. I don't know.
We'll be like driving down the road, and he'll see like a thing and be like, "That used to be a."
Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah.
It's a holy moly now.
56 Ebley Street, Bondi Junction. Okay, that's the first one. It's 5. You ready for the next one? 253 Coogee Bay Road, Coogee.
Oh, yes. I've got one, I think.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
Number 3, 2 City Road, Chippendale.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Angus knows that one.
Angus knows one.
I was there the other day.
Yeah.
Just got Curly that one.
Yeah, okay. I made it up.
42 King Street, Newtown.
42. Well,
it's hard because if I say it, then
You can't say it. But you can if you know it, that's a point to you, not your dad. You're in this quiz too. And one more.
Yeah. So
The last one is 1 Driver Avenue, Moore Park. Should we do the answers to that now, and then we can?
Let's have a go.
Yep. Okay. Let's do it.
Okay, the first one, 56 Ebley Street, Bondi Junction, was Bondi Lifesavers, which I'm assuming is not. It's not
Also
there
known
anymore.
as the wife swapper.
The wife swapper.
That's what it was called, the wife swapper.
Oh, was it? For obvious reasons.
Yeah. And Angus can verify that it's on the list, isn't it, Gus?
It says it right there.
Yeah.
It says it right there. And is that gone now, or is that still there?
Gone, yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
Lifesavers. Okay, next one.
253 Coogee Bay Road, Coogee is Salinas.
Yes!
Yeah.
3 points.
He's up. He's in front.
Well done. That's still there, boys.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. Excellent.
All right.
2 City Road, Chippendale. Angus.
I thought it was the. No,
No.
it can't be that. I was gonna say Chippo Hotel, but that's
No,
just called that.
It's the Lansdowne.
I'd put the lanes.
The Lansdowne.
Lansdowne.
Correct. The Lansdowne. That's still there, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Angus was there the other night.
Oh, excellent.
You
So
see some
3-3.
3-3. 42 King Street, Newtown is the Vanguard.
It's the other end. I wasn't sure.
Thought it was
Yeah,
Marshall.
yeah.
Oh,
that's
no one
funny.
got that one.
No. Well, we were actually at the Vanguard the other night too, weren't we, guys? Yes, we
There
were.
you go.
Yeah. Saw a band called Tiger, but that's a whole other story.
And the last one Driver Avenue Mall Park is the Horden Pavilion.
Horden Pavilion.
So
Also known as the Pavlova.
4-3, is that right?
Yeah,
4-3.
4-3. You got it.
Beautiful.
4-3.
I got Selena's. So let's talk about Sydney. So we sort of talked about this last week. So Angus, who has the crown if it's not Sydney as the capital of music here in Australia?
Capital of music is quite a hard thing. Honestly, I think you hear a lot of Melbourne and stuff, and you hear a bit of Perth as well. Actually,
Yeah,
like when people go on
Perth's
tour,
come good.
that's kind of it's kind of where they hit. I've seen, but I've never honestly I haven't explored it as much as I've explored Sydney.
okay.
But we will.
Yeah.
And more.
And I guess it's interesting to me because I've always considered, that Sydney was almost like the central point of music here in Australia. There were so many Brisbane bands that, ups and downs, Voodoo Lust, that were so focused that they had to go to Sydney to make it. And then, of course, we had bands like the Zimmerman who were saying you don't have to go to Sydney to make it. But it seemed that Sydney was like this honey point. So, Rossi, why do you think that Sydney? Why do you feel that Sydney almost has lost the mantle and is reclaiming it?
Well, look, it's a number of things. Like the legislation around things like fire eggs, poker machines. Poker machines killed off a lot of venues. Fire eggs made it easy for them to kill it off because they had a lot of those sort of regulations built in around compliance regulations built in. So venues went, it cost us $50,000 to do that. I could fill the room with poker machines. If we fill the room with poker machines, we don't have all these people coming in, but our take's a lot higher. So they've gone down that route.
Yeah.
It's a moral dilemma. Plus, I think you'll find that Australia has more poker machines anywhere outside of Las Vegas in the world.
Yep.
Wow.
That's true.
Yeah. And Sydney has got more poker machines than anywhere else in the country, I think.
So less places to play, the vibe's not there. There's you potentially got a lot of bands playing in garages and doing their home recordings, but they're not getting out there and making a scene per se.
People have fallen off the twig of getting into the habit of going and seeing live acts, like I know with say Craig Barman's I-94 group, there's probably 250 people who are activated there who are going to a lot of shows.
Yeah.
And there's probably a few other, like the internet's part of it. The tribalism that's come with the internet is that people have really hyper-focused on the things they're interested in.
Yeah.
I think.
Mm.
And they're not willing to go out and just say, I don't know who these guys are, but it's live music. I'm going to go and check it out.
Well, the venues don't have that continuity that they once had. Like, for example, you had the Lansdowne, say you had the Hopetown on a Sunday afternoon and people would just go down the Hopetown and someone would be on. Yeah. Or Yannondale, for example, was another one on a Sunday afternoon. Or a Saturday night, you'd have your local bar. And if there was nothing else you wanted to go and see, you'd have one of your local pubs you'd just go to.
And there'd be a band on.
It'd be, like I used to go to the Bexley North a lot, which is a pub, just up the road here. And and there I saw anyone from Midnight Oil or The Cure to, Lipstick Killers or, Cold Chisel or Swanee or the Sunny Boys or everything in between,
Yeah.
And
the whole thing about poker machines is that the pubs can't make any money. It's got to be a fallacy because they don't have them in Perth. And Angus just said, like Perth, heaps of bands come out of Perth. Everyone talks about how good it is. No poker machines there except in casinos and places like that. Which is where they should be.
We've seen, so there seems to be a lot more of those small rooms. Like a friend of mine works for the live music office, a guy called John Wardle, and he's done really significant hard work over the last 10 years about changing the licensing laws around small bars in Sydney, right?
Yeah.
So that legislation directly led to things like the mosh pit opening. like that's straight off the back of John's work. The Mosh Pit, there was the Highway Bar, up and down King Street. There's probably about 8 or 9 pubs that have venues, but 3, 4, 5 of those are as a direct result of that live music office, state government investing money in trying to activate that part of it. And John has done incredible work with that. Now, the change of state government, we've got a couple of ministers for the arts who are really interested in it. Federally, we've got a minister for the arts who I know is really interested in music as well. Tony Burke. Yeah, I've seen him on. I've caught the same train as him, and he's carrying a guitar. He'll catch the train to here because this is his local area to the airport, carrying a guitar, jump on the plane to Canberra. So like he's interested in music, and I see him at gigs, much the same as there's a photo of me, Mick Madew, and Michael Charles from Mixed Band doing a show at the Factory Theatre, and the current Prime Minister was in the dressing room behind us.
Yeah, Albo's a fan of music. Yeah,
those guys are really involved. Whereas we've got a guy, Darcy Byrne, who is kind of an inner West mayor, who's now in the state government. Who's I'm not sure. Like he talks a good game, but I haven't seen much action out of it. But he's really keen on like they've turned Enmore Road into what they call an entertainment precinct. So if someone complains about a venue, they're like going unlucky. They're changing those laws, and there's been some legislation changes that's come in the last week where someone could complain about a venue, and then someone would come in and say, well, let's have a listen to the noise. Oh, it's a problem, we're going to have to shut them down. But
so even though the venue was there first,
yes,
and the high-rise tower block came later,
the
venues have
always been dumb, isn't
it? But they're changing, they're rolling that back.
Excellent.
They're actually making it proactive and more in the hands of, mate, do you know why you got your property so cheap? Because it's near this hotel. Which stands to reason for all of us, right?
So more places to play, more young bands getting out there. So out of the Sydney scene at the moment, is it, because I did hear a whisper, and this is me playing devil's advocate, there's a couple of dinosaurs on the Sydney scene, Rossi. I've heard a whisper about. So what's creating the scene? Is it the young bands starting to bumble up like Pockewatch, or is it the dinosaurs that keep refreshing themselves at venues, or is it a mix?
Young bands.
Young bands.
I think it's honestly
it has to be.
It's because naturally, but I don't really think there's a scene at all. Because the scene, I think there has to be something, in my opinion, something new and interesting happening. And I don't think anyone's necessarily innovating. I think we're taking a lot from older bands, but there's no real innovation I'm seeing, like a collective sound. Because if you think of like the New York scene or like CBGBs, you think of like a sound, and some people are doing something that no one's done. So I'm not saying that young people are doing anything new, but they're definitely the only reason it's, in my opinion, that would be kind of
the big
crazy.
The big difference, I would think, would be from nowadays to the days that Rossi's just talking about, is that the bands that were playing in those days, they were in the pop charts as well, and three guitar-based bands now they can't be seen anywhere in the main pop chart. So there's a massive population of people Angus's age who they haven't got a clue about a guitar, drums, and bass bands. You know?
It's hip hop and R&B.
Hip hop and R&B. My daughter, she loves all that sort of stuff. Luckily, because of me, she gets all the other stuff as well.
Well, you listen to a Hottest 100 on the weekend. I don't know any of it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I felt like an old man.
I think it's coming back. I think there's a decent amount of guitar, at least in mainstream music. But I guess not rock. But I think it's because no one's doing anything interesting, particularly. I'm finding I've listened to a lot of younger bands, just in general, that are on these bigger stages internationally, and I'm not really blown away by most of them. So I think that's probably why no one's trying to do anything new.
It is a good point. Yeah,
we get to see a fair few young bands. or like Gus sees a lot more than I do, luckily, because I'd be poking my eye out with a stick if I had to sit through so many of them. But the old, when I think I've explained to you before that when I first started touring, the old guys would like clip us over the ear and say, "This is how you do it."
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now they're having to invent it all for themselves from the ground up. Yeah, and there's some good things about their collaborative mean. Like, most bands seem to be supportive of each other generally, don't they?
Yeah.
Like they're
In a way.
In a way.
There was a bit of competition back in the old day, but Rossi, wasn't there, between, and Angus was talking about the Sydney sound. I think the Sydney sound has always been a diverse sort of a sound. So even in the time when the Lime Spiders were, at their peak, mid to late 80s playing around, you've still got the jingle jangle guitar sound coming out of bands like the Sunny Boys and Ups and Downs,
The
and
stems.
you've got the stems coming through, and then you've got something like Voodoo Lust that's almost like a contrast, and Eastern Dark are in there, and it's like a melting pot of all these guitar bands.
A lot of power pop in that sort of stuff too, right? You do. Yeah. Nowadays in Sydney, there seems to be a lot of that sort of very almost surf influenced, sort of like singer-songwriter sort of.
Yeah.
Lots of up and down strokes.
Well, I guess that's also a cheap. They're cheap for the pubs to employ because there's one guy with an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of it too. Like that, a lot of these bands are playing for like $100 in a show or $150 a show.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not sustainable to make a living out of it for anyone. Yeah,
no.
But the rooms can only afford to pay that because they're only small rooms at the moment.
Yeah, but that would have been the way that everyone started out, even back in the 80s. It's just that there was a stepping stone to keep going.
There was a next level.
Money. Yeah, there was a next level.
There was a next level.
I'm finding there's not as many mid-sized venues. It's kind of just big, and then there's like the smaller ones.
No little step between the bolo and the next and the
Enmore or exactly.
Yeah, or the Enmore. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it's mosh pit to bolo to I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's really nothing.
So who would be in both your opinions? I don't know. The answer is going to be Pockewatch. No, but who's the best band of that type that we're talking about, like a guitar based?
So who's leading the charge?
Who's the best rock band? Yeah, who's leading the charge?
Outside of Pockewatch.
Yeah.
We both love Star Crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Star Crazy, which is we love them dearly. They're a little bit older. They're like mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
But a bit of glam rock in them.
Yeah.
And actually the previous lineup of a band of that had Blake Catteris in them.
Oh, truly?
Blake was in a band with the singer and the guitarist, Marcus and Odin, when they were kids, called Killer. And we love them.
And they're selling stuff? They make what are they?
They're putting out records.
Putting out some
records.
They're not making a lot of money yet. Yeah.
Righto.
But they got decent songs there. I think that's all you can do anymore. Like as I was saying before, like there's not much innovation to be made, but it's not necessarily a bad thing because you can just have good songs and that
a good song will always win through.
Yeah, that's the only but I think you don't see many people thinking about the songs, and Star Crazy do, and they're quite great.
We see a lot of young bands who are like hardcore shirts off, beer drinking.
Yeah.
But
which has its place.
It does have its place, and there was a lot of that. Like I've done a lot of that. I've seen a lot of those sort of bands over the years. I do think. I think longevity is songwriting. You need to.
I agree. Yeah,
you've got to work on your craft and start working on it because it's not easy to write a good song, as we all know.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's almost seen as like uncool to like sing and do melodies and write good songs. So it's better for us because but I think that's part of it too.
Yeah. Rossi, did I see that the Cosmic Psychos played recently?
they played in Sydney. Myself and Angus and Shona and Barman, and we all went and we saw them, the Psychos, playing at the Metro Theatre with a band from America called Zeke.
Yeah.
And Zeke played maybe 45 1-minute songs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They're playing really fast, short songs. Angus quipped to me at one stage. He goes, "Oh, I remember this song from 5 songs ago."
I don't think I said that.
Well, if you got a formula, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have loved to have seen the Cosmic Psychos. So, and you know, when I'm talking about dinosaurs, obviously there's a lot of history and legacy in Sydney. You know, bands like those Turnbuckle guys that followed you around Japan, for example. You've got the Psychos. Yeah, you've got
those guys get more of a mention than Taylor Swift.
And can I just mention Braggy's over the moon because Radio Birdmen are going to Adelaide. Playing at the Gov.
Oh, no, they're playing at Adelaide.
So there's another legacy. There's another Sydney legacy, and you know, there's
look. If you look at the family tree of Sydney Rock, where I come from, they're at the head at the top of the tree. Yeah,
I'll be there.
Like, everything feeds off it. You listen to the Sunny Boys. There's no Sunny Boys without Radio Birdman.
Yeah,
fair enough.
There's no Sunny Boys without Kingscliff. So,
I agree.
But just another surf rock band.
It is.
Sydney.
That's exactly right. But I remember when they came down, they were already good. Gee, they were good right from the moment they got here. Those guys, and they played in cover bands on the coast, doing that old Queensland circuit thing. That playing the Playroom in front. 3 nights at the Playroom for $200, and what
a venue.
It'll go off at the Gov. That's a good venue too.
I think.
Can you make sure? Can I get a photo of Braggy in the mosh pit for Bird?
I'll be in the mosh pit. I want to get a picture with the band. My plan is to get my Radio Birdman the first that radios appear.
Yeah,
which is probably a couple $100 to buy a good copy of that now, and then get them to sign it so I can triple the price.
Braggy finally becomes a capitalist.
Yeah, but if you do that, John Needham will be following you around for their cut.
That's it.
All right, so Sydney are definitely reclaiming that mantle. If ever they lost it, we're seeing a lot more vibe and energy, obviously, in Sydney, Rossi.
I think so. We're seeing, there's a small venue like the Mosh Pit, I kid you not, is booked 5 months in advance.
Truly.
That's good.
Yeah. I know Miracle Bolo is 4 to 5 months in advance at the moment.
Yeah.
A lot of these bands, there's a lot of smaller venues that are churning the same. There's about 6 venues that have got about 25 bands running through them all the time, don't you reckon, Gus?
Yeah.
And
I know the Duke where you guys played. That seems like a pretty cool venue. There's always seems to be something going on there.
They're the guys who run the House of Music and Booze. They're like these. They've got there's. When Mazwak was out, he played at the House of Music and Booze up in St. Peter's there. But they're kind of they got that room's a good room. It's a little bit on the hard rock side, that room.
Yeah.
Yeah, which nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah. It's
that.
You go anytime you go see a band there, it's full. There's always people in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was when we played.
Yeah, good place. We like that one. So I think
what else is there?
Well, there's the whole King Street strip with about 8 or so places. There's the Lady Hampshire's just reopened, which is down just on Parramatta Road, a little bit out of the city. Okay. There's a whole bunch of those small pubs in like the Chippo and all that sort of mob of hotels as well. They're getting they've got 150 rooms, you think? 150 seater rooms?
Yeah, at most.
At most. And depending on the type, I know a guy who is a soul singer who's come down from Canberra, and he played there. I know another metal band that's played there, and Angus sees a lot of these hardcore bands that are playing at this room as well. Who'd you see there the other night?
What room?
The Lady the Chippo or the Gladstone, one of those ones.
It was Lord Gladstone. I saw my friend's band called Our Mutual Friend. They're a hardcore band. And I saw a band called Liquid Zoo who were quite Rolling Stonesy, and I actually liked them. quite a bit. But there's people jumping around. There's plenty of buzz around some of these shows sometimes, and it's good to see.
Another little facet of it I just thought about is that those old pubs like we talked about, Bondi Lifesavers and Slams and stuff from the 80s. It needed to be a big room. It needed to be a big stage just because of the fucking PA. The PA is so fucking big, whereas now it's much smaller, yeah?
Well, the gear's as loud but smaller, right?
Yeah, so there should be more, there's more.
Geez, we used to take giant PAs in places. We sometimes get booked. We get booked to play a really small room. We get booked to play a really small room. We turn up with our truck. And we would always take it as a matter of pride that we were going to take every bit of equipment we had in and make that room. And we used to refer to it as meggering out. We would take all of our equipment into those rooms just to teach them a lesson. And we would take everything. And so you'd walk into the room, and from one side of the bar to the other side was PA. There'd be a gap where a stage was. And then there'd be PA there and a full light show. We would have and it would sound great. I'd really enjoy doing those shows. Yeah.
And you still get a big kick from it. Hey, so Sydney's back where it needs to be, and it's great to hear. Great to hear some energy and excitement in the place. Hey, Braggy, let's finish off that trivia.
Righto. What's the score?
Again, 4-3.
4-3.
Okay. Are you ready?
So how many questions have we got?
No. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more questions. But
let's go.
I hope it's not like one of those Donald Trump cognitive tests.
No, one of them's pretty tricky though. Okay, I'll start with this one. Ready? Finish the names of these musicians. Ready? There's going to be 5 of them. You ready? BB, Cece.
Oh, gee. Okay, I'm going to go with this version.
DD.
Oh, yeah.
JJ. And LL.
What's the second last one? Second last one?
JJ.
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 Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Next question. It's one of those ones. Who is Kelvin Broadus Jr.?
Well.
That was a lovely stereo sigh, boys. Okay.
I hope our listeners enjoyed that.
Okay. Who sang these songs? Ready?
Okay.
Get Your Freak On. Angus, you're allowed to help your dad. Super Freak.
Oh.
Yeah.
Le Freak.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Freak on a Leash.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And Just Freak.
Oh.
Come on.
I'll give those 2 to you, Angus.
Okay.
You're getting a real perverse pleasure out of doing these trivias, aren't you?
I fucking love it. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
We've got 2 more questions to go. They're each got 5 little things, so they're 5 points each,
Okay.
1 point each for 5. Which teams do you associate, sporting teams, do you associate with these people?
Okay.
Rod Stewart.
Which teams?
Yeah, sporting teams. They're combining my 2 loves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Flea.
Oh, I don't know.
No idea.
Molly Meldrum.
That's your mob, isn't it, Braggy? Oh no, it's not.
And the last one is Billy Joel.
The Piano Man.
Okay, then there's one more question. This is my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't get this from anywhere. I make them up, by the way.
Yeah.
So you know. Okay, so this is cryptic bands, okay? So like if I was going to say the Tumbling Rocks, that would be the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
So you understand what I'm saying, what we're going with this, okay?
Okay.
These are all Australian too.
Yeah.
And all from Sydney except one.
Okay.
Stalkers and Accumulators.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Artists and stevedores.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Angus is good at this.
And that might have just been the non-Sydney one, right?
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that's a Sydney one.
Are they from?
I
No,
could be
no. I
wrong.
think
Maybe
both
I'm
of
wrong.
those. I think both of them aren't. That's another story.
Okay, doesn't matter then.
No.
12 o'clock lubricant.
Oh, that's a Sydney one.
Oh, ew.
Yeah. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Docile antelope. And the last one. This is my favorite. Lupus childbearer. Lupus. Lupus childbearer. Might need to know a little bit of Latin for that one. Or you might need to be a Harry Potter fan.
Docile antelope.
Got no idea.
Okay.
All right.
We're doing
to our listeners, make sure you take note of
your score.
how many you get right, and let us know if you beat Rossi. It's easy to beat me.
Okay. It was B.B. King.
Yes.
Yes.
Famous American blues guitarist. C.C. DeVille, guitarist
Yes.
for Poison.
That's him. I got that.
Well done.
I nearly got CC Ryder as well, but I went CC DeVille.
Yeah, I actually went CC Wells because I'm sure that there was a artist back in the early 80s in Sydney, but I won't go there. I'm not sure.
If there is, I don't mind giving it to you.
No, that's all right. No.
Dee Ramone.
Diddy Ramone.
That was
Yes.
my order.
Yeah. JJ Cale.
Oh, I had JJ Burnell
Oh,
from
okay.
the Stranglers.
Oh, okay. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Point. And LL Cool J.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was Sydney.
No, they're not all Sydney.
Oh yeah, BB
Further
King.
in, yeah.
Famous Sydney artist.
Okay. Kelvin Broadus Jr.
Yeah.
And you can see why he changed his name.
Yeah.
Is Snoop Dogg.
Ah, I did know that. Couldn't get it. I knew it.
Wow.
Okay. Get Your Freak On is by Missy Elliott.
No, I didn't have that one.
Get Your Freak On. Super Freak is by Rick James.
Rick James.
Left Freak is by Chic.
Chic.
The freak.
Nile Rodgers, baby.
Yeah. Freak on a Leash is by Korn. Remember them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we hear about them. We hear them here a bit.
I love corn.
Okay.
I just remember listening to the bass in that, Angus. It's like just like tuned down to D. It just flaps around that.
Yeah, that's great.
Bottom string. And Freak is by Silverchair.
Silverchair. Yes.
Of course. One of the best
Okay.
bands
Rod Stewart is a massive Celtic United soccer
I
fan.
had Rangers. I couldn't pick which one it was.
It's in the song. Celtic United, baby, I've decided you're the best team there's ever been. Taylor Swift goes for Kansas City Chiefs because her boyfriend plays for them. I love it. I love a little bit of the TikTok where all these right-wing dickheads in America are going,
They're losing their mind.
I'm not watching football because it's all it is
psyop.
Taylor Swift. And this guy did the maths. It's like over a 3-hour show, it's like 14 seconds of Taylor Swift over a 3-hour game.
I've been seeing some videos today that they're saying that it could be a psychological operation to get Biden over the line. They're losing their mind over it.
Oh, that's crazy.
The girl's just saying, register to vote. That's all she's saying. Register to vote.
I know. And the other one I saw was great was this, some guys going off about yeah, but she writes all these songs about guys that get dumped and stuff. What if this guy dumps her? And the guy goes, well, she's a billionaire. She'll probably buy the team and move them to England.
Well, that's the risk with songwriters, isn't it?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Flea goes for the LA Lakers.
Okay.
LA boy. Every song they wrote was about LA, wasn't it?
California. Yeah, it's true.
Oh, California. Molly Meldrum is St Kilda.
Yes.
This could be number one fan.
See, I've got him down for Melbourne Storm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my daughter said that too, so I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. Yeah. Billy Joel is a massive New York Yankees fan.
Yankees.
All right.
I got that one.
Okay. Stalkers and accumulators are hunters and
collectors.
Artists and stevedores.
Painters and dockers.
Well done. 12 o'clock lubricant.
Midnight oil.
Creepy. Docile antelope. Tame Impala.
Oh, good. Very good.
Thank you. And Lupus Childbearer. Now, Lupus is a wolf. That's wolf mother.
Oh, good work.
No worries. So, fans, listeners, let us know what you scored. So, I think it was all together, it was out of, 10, not counting the Sydney venues, 5, 10, 15, 21.
I got 15 out of 21.
I got 8.
Not bad. Not bad, Curly.
Well done. Angus, let's talk Pockewatch.
What's happening in the Pockewatch world?
Yeah, so big year in 2023. You're happy with where you're sitting?
Yes. Oh, like right now, physically?
No.
I can move. No, well, yeah, it was fun. In my opinion, we haven't done anything yet. That's kind of the way to think about it. Something Dad's said to me is you might play a show and get 400 people there, but there's like 45,000 other people in the same city who didn't go to your show and don't know who you are and don't care. So it's a good way to think about it. But no, yeah, it was cool. We got a record out, so you can check that out on Spotify and stuff. Obviously, we got a music video coming out too, the third one for that record. And yeah, we got coming up on the horizons probably another conquest, but I won't say what.
Okay.
And still writing, Angus. You got more songs in the works?
I've probably got about 40.
Excellent. Because that's the way. That's the way to get a hit.
Yeah, just keep doing. I mean, I think I watched something or read somewhere that the Beatles wrote a song every day, and I was like, well, that's cool. I'm gonna try and do that. And you go insane after a while because you're like, it's really hard to do. But it's I think it's the way to go. It's like anything. I think people attribute this sort of mythical, magical element to songwriting. Oh, just come, man. But it's like, no, it's like anything else. You got to do it a lot to be good at it, I think.
Exactly. You play guitar every day, you become a great guitarist. You write a song every day, you become a great songwriter. What do you think? Just to be, if you're critical of yourself, what do you think is the hardest part for you when it comes to song? Is it the melody? I know your lyrics are fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Really?
No, I like your lyrics a lot. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
No
I think the hardest bit is I try and do something a bit different with every song. I don't like writing the same song 50 times, which I have done.
Yeah.
And it's not as rewarding, but I also it's a hard sort of line to toe writing something that's new, but doesn't feel like, I'm just doing something different for the sake of doing something different. It still feels like a song that's sort of true to me, which is kind of hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I find myself sometimes thinking, but people might not like it. It's like, well, you got to kind of get out of that mindset, but it's still important to think about. So there's so many things, but it's a bit of a rough process for me when I write. I don't really take too much pleasure in it. But it's important to get out, and it's necessary, I think.
So do you write by yourself, Angus, or do you have people that you join in with?
I find myself quite controlling, so I can't do it. I love my boys. I love Jamie. I love Sam, but I don't know. I have if I get an idea, I have to flesh it out fully, just in the moment, or it won't happen. It's just, and so I'll be in the garage and I'll stay in there for a couple of hours just to get a whole song down, and then I can give it to them, and then so it's all me.
I guess with just a 3-piece band too, that is hard to come up, like you said before. You try and come up with something new and a new thing. That's hard with just 3 pieces. Not impossible though. So have you listened to what other 3-piece bands would give you influence, do you reckon?
Well, I try not to really let that affect me too much, because all I listen to is really 4-piece bands like the Beatles and Foo Fighters and stuff. Because I find, really it's about the songs, and I'm not trying to do too much sonically different, because I think that's kind of been explored to the furthest reaches we can really go. I mean, everyone always says that, and then someone else happens, but sonically is never really my problem, which is where another guitarist would come in. It's really just the song writing and getting the songs to be cool, and I think you can do that with just an acoustic and a voice. So I mainly just try and keep it really minimal. So then adding a drums and bass sounds insane. It really elevates it. So just try and keep it small. So I mean, AC/DC would do the same thing. They'd play every song on piano, every AC/DC song, to see if it would translate. And I think there's something to that.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. There's so much you can do with just the 3-piece. You think of bands like the Police and how different they sound to say some other,
Yeah. The only thing is I'm not a very good guitarist, so I just stick to open. I'll just say, I focus on the songs. I'm not.
Actually, I had another question too. I know I'm hogging the questions, Curly. But I actually had another question that I'd written down today. I thought it'd be good to ask Angus, seeing that the old boy works for Fender.
Yeah.
What would be what's your dream guitar?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, oh God, I've kind of already got it. I've got my Orville Les Paul Custom, which I love. It's my baby.
Yeah.
And I think I used to be very, very into the material thing of guitars. Like, I want a new one, and but I think it's just whatever you feel good with, whatever you like. And right now it's my Orville. So I guess maybe a Gibson Les Paul Custom in the future if we have an endorsement, but only if it was given to me for free. I would like it.
What about a platinum PRS?
Oh yeah, that was my thing. That was my sort of Excalibur for a long time because of Daniel Johns and.
We came so close to getting one too. There was a guy in the States who had one. Right, and we'd always talked him into getting it to us. What we'd organised it that this guy was going to freight it to Angus's auntie in Texas. She was going to repackage it. Angus's uncle here is a customs broker. He was going to get it freighted over here, and the guy just got cold feet. Thought it was all a bit too hard.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be.
Yeah,
it's not
nice
meant to
guitars.
be.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think PRS are cool and they're nice tools to use for a professional sort of live environment, but I don't think they got the soul.
No, I don't. I agree with you. I agree with you. They're more like you think you'd use it in a studio, the PRS.
Yeah, it's a tool that doesn't go out of tune.
They're kind of they're a little bit cool. They remind me of a guitar from like the future. That's kind of how I think of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Angus, what was your favorite gig of 2023? Because I know that you supported a couple of bigger names coming into Australia. One at short notice, for example. But what was your favorite gig?
My favorite gig was probably I measure what I like about a gig by the crowd because that's the most important thing for me. Yeah, favorite. I mean, I really liked the EP launch that we did because people were just super into it and they knew all the words and stuff, which is really cool. And I think maybe one of my favorites is Metro Theatre because we were playing to some people who they're quite young and it was like their first time ever really being to a show, and I think that's really important that we were that band for them, like their first band they'd ever seen live. And it was just fun, and also Metro Theatre is like a huge room. So it was really cool. But anything where the kids get into it and they jump around, I adore it. So it's all good to me.
Excellent. Rossi's shared a couple of clips that you've done with some of those. I think Sounds of Sevcon. Is that a thing, Rossi?
Yeah.
And the song Entwined, and I'll probably edit the song in post edit for this, but that's a great little song.
Oh, really? Thank you.
It's really Beatles-esque, you know. Yeah. So is that where the true influence for that song comes from for you?
No, it was actually, I was trying to write an Oasis song. I was trying to rip off a nameless Oasis song that I won't.
That's kind of the same, though.
I mean,
they were trying to rip the Beatles off, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a big influence. So.
So I wasn't ripping from the source. I was ripping someone ripping the Beatles.
Yeah.
And then it turned out
can't steal from a thief, Angus.
Maybe. Exactly. I'm bringing it back to its rightful owner in a way.
But that song will make its way onto this year's EP, won't it?
Yes, this year's
awesome
impossible record that could be happening.
May or may not be.
I need to keep a mystery.
Yeah.
This possible thing.
There may or may not be another record this year.
I've heard rumors.
And
your people.
Speaking about mystery, I've got to really ask, do you prefer doing music or do you prefer being a referee for the Psychotic Turnbuckles?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Good answer.
Well,
I've heard of them. I've heard of that person. I heard he's really attractive. He's beautiful, smart.
You know, Angus, another answer for when there's questions like that, another great answer for those questions is, I don't think that's any of your business.
I have to speak to my lawyer first.
I love them all equally.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I tell him.
All right. So you mentioned a YouTube exclusive or a new video being launched. Tell us the background of that one.
It's kind of cool because it was I was in Japan for some undisclosed reason. And pretty much we found this crossing, the Shibuya crossing. And it's like this huge, it's like the biggest one in the world. And we were like, wouldn't it be cool if I could walk across it for the video? And then I was like, how can I do that for a whole video? And then we kind of formulated this one shot thing and it came out pretty cool. And it's in Japan. It's rocking.
Do you hate me? I feel like you probably should. Wouldn't blame you. You never thought of me the same way. You made me feel good, even when I knew I should be crying out loud to see you. Ripping out my tongue to stay awake. Do you think when you see my face you still feel the same as you did when I first started calling your name? But I just don't deserve having you after I've hurt you. Crying out eyes to see you. Ripping out my tongue to stay awake. To say that it's all okay, and all of you was just in my head.
And when is that coming out, Angus?
Friday. So if this goes up to schedule, it should be
Out today.
So go watch it. What are you doing watching this video? I mean,
Well,
what's going to come back?
Because there'll be a link on this video.
Well, so right now, scroll down, or if you're on a phone, go like that. There's this blue text. Tap that, and then yeah, and then whatever
Yeah,
you do.
exactly. Enough of the
And
old
like it.
wedges. Go down.
So the song's called Pinafore, correct?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that. What's the song about?
Oh well, I tell you what, I try not to tell too much about what a song's about because I appreciate when people come up to me and they have their own opinion or their own interpretation of the song, which I think is just as valid as whatever I interpreted it to be as I was writing it. And they have that, so I try and keep away from it. But it's about sort of how you affect someone and how that makes you feel, and maybe there's themes of longing, forgiveness. Who knows? They're all beautiful. Just beautiful. It's beautiful themes, I'm sure.
Now,
I'm
how
sure.
hard was it to do that video? Because I'm impressed by it, just quietly. So, because I've been to Shibuya.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been to Shibuya, and I'm impressed that the camera work, but I'm impressed that Angus in his role in the video, and I'm quite surprised you weren't mobbed during it, just quietly.
Well, what happened is we had to sort of work around that because often it would just be hysterical. People would be chasing you around. You tell them stop. We had to get as soon as the cameras cut, we had to get into a taxi. It got me all the way back to the hotel. I was okay.
But didn't you have some crazy troop of wrestlers looking after you at security?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd hide them. For that reason.
That's what I
that was the
meant.
whole reason. Yeah.
That's what I
And then I heard they played some. They have a band. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Green
my leg
Lycra, yeah.
something like that. But I thought it was really, really nice of them for how little I paid them to look after me so valiantly. But yeah, no, it was fun. It's fun film.
Yeah, very impressive video. Braggy, you've seen it, haven't you?
I have seen it, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give anything away, though. I wasn't sure we were supposed to give it away that we'd
Are we
seen it.
arguing? It's being released this week.
It's out. It's out probably a couple hours ago by the time this is uploaded.
Yeah. So
Cool.
fantastic. So
Yeah,
what
it's
can we expect in 2024? You're talking or giving hints of an album. What's doing?
Well, yeah. So we classically we're just gonna give them just enough to get them going, get the people excited. No, I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna have a record maybe out by 2024, and we'll get to that soon.
It's a little bit tempered because our rhythm section, Sam and Jamie, are doing their HSC this year.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make sure that we don't load them up too much.
Yeah.
But of course, if we ask
what
them,
do you need that for? You guys are going to be rock stars. You don't need to worry about school.
I think that's what they're thinking, and I'm not prepared to. I'm saying, guys, we'll just keep. I don't want to put you under too much pressure this year, so we'll just do some recording. We'll do gigs to keep maintaining, and then at the end of the year,
you should just leave now. Like, no.
You should just
leave school.
Pack up and go to Tokyo. Start booking
exactly.
gigs there.
But no, yeah, we're gonna kind of leave it until they're out, and then by the time we're out, we're just gonna go crazy, hopefully. So we'll go.
Did you get to any gigs in Tokyo, Angus?
Yeah,
when you were over there on that totally non-related thing.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. There was quite a lot of sort of like underground, sort of punky garage bands that played. Really interesting. All the venues were like down like really steep stairs, and you're allowed to smoke in there, which to me is completely foreign because as long as I've been alive,
yeah,
I'm able to do that. And it's just this room full of like smoking and like some band playing power pop songs that they've learned. It's really cool. We think we heard a song that's actually Aussie was played by
Hot Generation by the Sunsets, a very famous Australian surf song, and the two Japanese bands we saw played that song.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like mind blowing. And I know, and the lead singer, the lead singer for the Sunsets was in a band called Tamam Shad.
Oh yeah.
Who I've actually mixed, right? A guy called Lindsay Bier. And like to hear that on the other side of the world, it's like, are you kidding me? Really?
Awesome.
Wow. But yeah, it's a bit of a big deal. It was 1967 surf hit globally, apparently.
Yeah.
Hot Generation, great song. Wow.
Yeah.
It's got
So
the
do
line,
you see
"I
that
give
as
my
a
heart to the
potential?
sea."
Do you see that as a potential market, Angus? Because
Yeah, everywhere, everywhere.
Okay.
Indonesia, India. That's the aim. We want to go everywhere. And I think but Japan does have a big rock market, and they've got a big sort of power poppy 60s-y market too. I mean, I saw a lot of, there's so many vintage stores there, which I really enjoyed, and there's a lot of that sort of 60s garage vibe is very prevalent there.
Yeah,
they love that, don't they? And the rockabilly stuff too, eh? A lot of
The guy dances like that.
Yeah.
But they're all in. Like, yeah, they're just so all like they're committed. They're absolutely committed to whatever they're into. They're committed. The Japanese people are so lovely, weren't they?
They're nice.
Yeah.
They're nice people.
Yeah,
they had a lovely time.
I saw some of the videos out from the Turnbuckles gigs when they recently went over there, and just to see these the audience just getting involved and mingling with the band, it was just I'd imagine that there's an opportunity there. So that
well, if there's an opportunity for the Turnbuckles, there's definitely an opportunity.
The Japanese people were very, very good to the Turnbuckles.
Yeah,
it was lovely.
Yeah.
It really was.
Well, they're legends. They're legends of our game, and they beat Godzilla after all. So
we did beat Godzilla.
And Angus, when you do go on tour and you do go everywhere to Japan, don't forget to come to Adelaide.
I'll try. I'll keep a note of it.
Yeah, it would be good.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It'd be cool soon.
All right. So I'm just about to start the wind up, but before we do, I'm going to throw to Rossi because we have promised this since our final show last year. Rossi, do you have a backstage story for us this week?
Well, this one's loosely a backstage story, and I may have touched on it off air, but I've got a very good friend who went and played county cricket in England, and he was he's a fast bowler. He's very good. He's still came back, played grade cricket here. He was a very good cricketer. He's also a good rugby league player. He could have been either, but he ended up being neither. But anyway, the manager of his best mate ended up being a 5'8" for the Wallabies, actually.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. And he tells a story that he man-catted him in a final, and the two of them came to blows off field. Knew you'd like that, Braggy. Anyway, my mates, the side was managed by a club, a guy who had an affiliation with clubs, and he said, "Do you guys want to?" This guy managed an act called Lovelace Watkins, and he said, "Do you want to come down to? Do you want to come to the snooker tonight and watch the snooker?" And my mate's gone, "Oh, it sounds like fun." Pot black's a really big sort of thing. So yeah, you go there and people are drinking, smoking beers, watching the snooker, all this sort of stuff. And he's sitting there and he's in there, and there's this big kerfuffle, and this entourage come in and they park this guy right next to him. And he's turned around and he's looked at this very pale, effeminate young man, and then realized he was sitting there at the snooker with Freddie Mercury.
Oh.
And he ended up spending the whole night drinking beer, smoking cigarettes, and talking to Freddie about snooker.
That is just awesome.
This guy.
And did he enjoy the movie when it came out, the Queen movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
He loved it. He loved that movie because he said what he liked about it is how it was very close to the true story. It's exactly how he remembered Freddie.
Okay. Awesome.
So the bit we didn't want to talk about, so it became a leading question from. Well done, Braggy.
Well done.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to say. You can do the family friendly version of what you told him.
So the film came out, and I went and saw it at the cinema, and I was talking to him, and he goes, "Oh, have you seen the film yet? And I said, I did. I saw it last night, mate. He goes, what do you think of it? I said, oh, it was really, really good. Except there was my favourite bit was the scene where Freddie picked up this Australian cricket player at the snooker. And his face dropped. He's going, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, mate. But I enjoyed doing that. I really did.
Well done. We got there.
Great story. Great story. So, Angus, where can people find you? If
You can find me on Pocketwatch_AU on Instagram. Then we got same on Facebook. It's Pocketwatch.
P-Watch Music.
P-Watch Music. There we go. Then we got a website. If you just type up Pocketwatch on Google.
.net.au.
Yeah. You can find us. We got a YouTube. It's Pocketwatch, same thing.
There's a link tree which will take you to all of them.
We got a Bandcamp up now where you can buy merch.
Buy T-shirts and buy CDs.
Cool merch too.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. We're making more. Or maybe we're not.
So listeners, please just listen. Go and listen to this band, and if you're in Sydney, go and see where they're playing, go and see them, because this is how so many of my friends my age say, oh, there's no good music around anymore. Well, that's because you don't go out and see bands that are trying to promote that style of music that you like. So go and see them, buy it, download it, like it, and then that's what we talked about all night. It'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we will have those links in the show notes, Angus, so that people can go check out Pocketwatch. And of course, the music we've edited in will have the direct links to those on YouTube. So
awesome.
If you've enjoyed this episode, everyone, please like, subscribe, review. We're on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. We got a website, Unfiltered, Undiscovered. Well, Pocketwatch's music is already in our playlist on Spotify, and we will add some more just because we want to. So go check out the Unfiltered, Undiscovered playlist on Spotify. Lyrics from the playlist this week come from Jimmy and the Boys. I'm not like everybody else, and it's I don't care to walk and talk like everybody else. I'm not going to walk through life like everybody else. I don't want to run and hide like everybody else because I'm not like everybody else. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and we will see you all again next week when we feature Lizzie, Jack and the Beanstalks from Wollongong. They're back on the show next Wednesday, and we will see you all then. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Please welcome to the stage Pocketwatch. Let's give him a round of applause.